So when am I going to start talking about Special Forces tactics? Glad you asked. Let's start talking about that when we come back. I'm Dr. Christopher Larsen, a veteran of the U.S. Army Infantry, founder of One Shepherd Leadership Institute, and author of Small Unit Tactical Doctrine. Let me cut to the chase and say I'm not going to talk about Special Forces tactics, and yet I'm also going to insist in the same breath of air that that's all I talk about is Special Forces tactics. What I mean by that is that Special Forces and Special Operational Forces and, Tier 1, Tier 2, it really doesn't matter how you define that. The reality is that Special Forces don't have special tactics. They really don't. What they have is special missions. And for those missions, they are wonderfully prepared through specialized equipment, through specialized forms of transportation, targeting and detection, certainly weaponry. And then they have lots and lots of specialized training that allows them to develop those modes of transportation, those modes of communication and targeting and electronic systems, as well as lots and lots of weaponry. And that's important. This isn't to diminish. What I'm saying next isn't to diminish the role or function of Special Forces. It's just that I am saying that they have special missions whereby they use conventional tactics in very unconventional conditions. For all of those who, come close to or in fact idolize Special Forces, so do I. I was, raised to do so. I'm the son of a warrior. I am an Army brat. And two of my uncles were Green Beret. They were U.S. Special Forces serving in Vietnam, multiple tours, and Laos. So I already had that, growing up, these were my uncles, right? And so I already had a healthy respect for them, as well as for my father and other uncles who had served in a myriad of military specialties. Special Forces to me was all the way up there on top. And of course, here in America, we know the Green Berets who really get their, their initial start through the Jedburghs teams in Europe in World War II. And then the Rangers, U.S. Rangers are, it's a very, very old tradition. The Rangers date back to the early 1600s. But that's interesting that they didn't become part of the active military, the active army, until, World War II. And frankly, they were ushered in and trained and stood up by the SAS, the British SAS. But they had in fact existed for centuries prior to 1940. These are, who I championed both as a kid and then later as a warrior myself. I was never in Special Forces. Never. Nope. No Ranger tab. Nope. No Green Beret tabs. No, nothing. Nothing like that. Okay? Did I work with them on multiple occasions? Of course. I got to the pleasure and the honor of working with Green Berets from multiple different groups. Most work was done with 10th Group, but I also got to work with 3rd Group. And I got to work with the 1st Ranger Battalion on 2 different occasions. And of course you meet Rangers and Green Berets all through your career, by the way. They work in the line units too. They rotate out of their regiments and groups and serve in the line units so that they stay abreast of what what the line units are doing, what they're capable of, and new developments. That's singing the praise. I have very close friends. My cousin right now serves in the U.S. Special Forces. So if you're one of those fanboys, guess what? So am I. I think it's because of the familiarity I've had relationships, again, close family and friend relationships, that, there was a maturation of understanding on my part that had to occur, and to learn what each one of these special forces, special operational forces, what each one of them was tasked to. What's their normative, mission that they cover down on. In every single case, doesn't matter whether we're talking variants from the Navy, the Air Force, the Army, or the Marines, what you find over and over and over again is that you have conventional tactics being used by very specialized troops in very unconventional conditions. I know I'm repeating myself, but that is to say that everything we talk about on this channel, or at least in regards to tactics, really does apply. It truly does apply to special forces. And if you say, well, you know, not the big army movement like area defense and deliberate attack, you know, synchronized with close air support and armor support. Actually, yeah, even that. Sometimes just tangentially, but what I mean by that is it may very well be that the special forces are training indigenous forces to conduct these very conventional tactics and operations. So once again, they just can't get away from it. The fact is, tactics are tactics. You can say everything we talk about here is conventional, and that is absolutely correct to say, and they are used by the unconventional. I think that's pretty much all I was going to say on that one. Thanks.